All right, welcome out everybody to the MCEL Esports League of Legends preseason game. We have Mesa Community College versus Paradise Valley Community College today. Currently in the pick ban stage. So far, we have some pretty solid bans right now. Misfortune Tryndamere. Tryndamere is a great ban for split pushing. Plus, I'm certain he's relevant right now. He was seen in pro play recently. He had a very interesting mid lane build, and the Kennen band's actually going to be pretty clutch as well. Kennen is a very, very good champion for organized competitive play because his ultimate just wins entire team fights. And we see a Silas ban coming out as well from the side of Mesa here. Lucian getting banned as well. So we have some pretty solid bans. These are some very threatening champs that, if not kept in check, will definitely cause a problem. So I think these are definitely some strong bans, very strong champs here. But that is it for the first ban phase. Now we are in the picking phase. Let's see what Gecko is going to pick here. And as far as I'm aware, these players all are in order. But it looks like Gecko picks Aphelios for his AD carry. So Aphelios, as far as I'm aware, I think they did buff him recently. He is very strong right now. He's a great scaling champ. Definitely a threat, but he can be shut down early, and that's a pretty good way to take him out of the game. Next, we see a Set and a Jax. So I'm guessing that's going to be Jax jungle, because it looks like PV is picking in order so far. So we see a Set and a Jax. Both very great champions. Jax is amazing at split pushing, though it looks like it is going to be Jax jungle, so he may be roaming a bit more. Not sure about the split pushing. Maybe late game, but we'll see. Next up, we have an Olaf pick, and Olaf is also in a pretty great spot right now, especially with how good Gore Drinker is at the moment. A lot of champions are running Gore Drinker. And next up, we see Mordekaiser top. Okay. Mordekaiser is definitely one of those champions that we call a noob stomper champ. He's pretty great low elo. But once you start to, get into the higher echelons of gameplay, he definitely falls off because his kit is very one-dimensional. But that being said, it is a relatively strong kit. They pretty much only buffed him recently. So interesting to see what Mordekaiser is going to be doing up in the top lane, especially against Set. Both of those champions are very good 1v1 champs, but it can be pretty easy for Mordekaiser to get an edge due to his passive. So very interesting. I'm really excited to see the Mordekaiser, especially because there are lots of ways you can play him. You can play him tank, you can go full AP. But we do see some more bans here. And then we also saw a Galio pick. I really like the Galio pick. Galio is another very versatile champion. I don't know if it's going to be Galio support or mid. But so far there's a lot of beefy champs coming in from the side of PV here. And they've banned Nami and Vex for their final two bans, while Mesa bans Thresh and Ziggs, which are both pretty solid all-around bans. Thresh is definitely a very threatening support. You don't really want to get mixed up with him. Ziggs as well is potentially very, very strong, especially against this team where we see Olaf and Mordekaiser, who, especially Mordekaiser, who isn't very mobile. Ziggs will just melt both of those two with Leandries if his team kites him well. But we see an Ashe pick instead for the AD carry. So Ashe is in my opinion, a pretty overall solid pick. I feel like she doesn't scale very well. Aphelios is definitely going to have the edge on her late game. But we will see. And we got a Lux pick now. And then Vex got banned as well, actually. And so Nami banned is great. Like, an Enchanter is just never fun to play against, especially when you have a tank like Nautilus. It can be kind of tough to be very threatening, I feel like, as a tank when there's an Enchanter on the enemy team. And then the Vex ban is good too. just because she's a bit strong at the moment. And we see a Morgana support as well. Okay, so far pretty interesting comp right now. Is that a Felios top? Okay, no, it's not. Okay. I was very confused for a moment. Okay, so we've got Mord, Olaf, Lux, Aphelios, Nautilus. Okay, perfect. So the Nautilus versus the Morgana support. I'm not sure how that support matchup's gonna go. I think if Nautilus gets ahead, if Mesa's bot lane gets ahead, they should have a decent edge. They will definitely outscale the Ashe and the Morgana, but that is, of course, if they take it to late game. And Jax is also a very hard scaling champion as well. So I think it's just going to be a battle. If this does go to late game, it'll just be a battle of who outscales who harder. We are going to go into the rifts now, and I'm looking forward to seeing these champs duke it out. All of these champs are just look so exciting to play as. But we will catch you guys in a little bit when the game starts.
Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
All right, guys. We are back right now in the game. We saw a little bit of footsie being played in the early game there as PV tried to invade Mesa's jungle. Nothing really came of it, though, thankfully, for Mesa. But at the moment, we are just kind of seeing some, you know, just some normal early game farming. Jax is pathing down to the bot lane, so I'm not sure if he's going to try and go for a level 3 gank onto the bot lane, but his bot lane isn't really doing him any favors. We did see a first blood onto the set from the Mordekaiser, so great first blood. He is going to TP back. I'm not sure if that's going to do him any good, though. But here he comes. He probably could have let the wave freeze, but with that first blood, the Mordekaiser is going to back, so he does have a nice wave stacking up, pushing into the set here, so that'll be good for him. Okay. In the meantime, we are seeing a bit of trades going on in the mid lane draft going up against Galio. And despite Galio being sort of an anti-mage champion, he really doesn't match up that well into Lux in my experience, just because of her long-range poke and her Q, which is very easy to hit and roots for quite a while. We are going to see Olaf come in for a gank to try and help. But nope, Galio's dash there, the disengage, is very effective. But Jax is in. He's coming in for the level 3 gank. Didn't quite get Nautilus there. The exhaust going to get used there, while Nautilus does have to end up flashing. So very nice attempt from the Jax to get a gank onto the bot lane. But unfortunately, didn't get a kill, though he did burn Aphelios' summoner spells as well. So if he does want to come down eventually, that will probably be best. I'm not sure if the set is going to try and trade with Mordekaiser again. Once Mordekaiser gets ahead in lane, it's basically over at that point, unless you get spam ganked, just because of how good he is at 1v1s. So I don't know if it would be in Set's best interest to try to take another trade with him. Although Set does have the comeback factor, so he could try and squeeze out a kill if he wanted to. But meanwhile, we're basically just seeing some standard early game right now. Looks like Set did try to go in there onto the Mordekaiser. Didn't quite get much of it, though. Meanwhile, first Drake is going to come up. And let's go ahead and see how they are going to take this. It doesn't look like they will soon. Bot lane is going to reset while their wave pushes into Mesas. But it was a freeze. Oh, no, it wasn't a freeze. But, well, it was a freeze, but Mesa broke it. Okay, just more trades coming up from the top lane. That's pretty much what you're going to see all the time. Top lane is just a bunch of trading. All these champions that can 1v1. Olaf coming back into the mid lane, try to kill Galio. He does save his E to get out there, and this Galio is definitely wary of these ganks. Does miss the cannon, unfortunately, but he's definitely wary of these ganks from the Olaf. That is the second time he's come down here within the past couple minutes. So he's doing a very good job saving his E for when he does get ganked, and that is leading him to get out very easily. Meanwhile, now the Jax is going to come in for a gank onto the mid lane, but Lux does have a ward there, so she is going to be aware of that and play a little safer here. And you can definitely tell these teams are certainly showing each other quite a bit of respect right now. Nobody really wants to get caught out and die unless they give their enemy an advantage here. Scuttle is going to go in the favor of Paradise Valley here, and they may try and secure this objective here while Mesa bot lane is resetting. Nope, doesn't look like it. So this Drake was probably free for them, but I don't think it's a big deal. There's still plenty of opportunities to secure that drag, especially because of the prio the bot lane has right now. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with this advantage here, especially because this wave is now crashing under the bot lane tower. And we're just seeing more trades coming out in the top lane. Set actually got Mordekaiser down to a pretty low level there, health-wise. And Set is really he's just so good at staying in lane because of his passive, which gives him bonus health regen based on his missing HP. So that is definitely going to be a problem for Mordekaiser in these longer trades. Good vision here from both sides on the map right now. Mordekaiser is playing up, and he does have a pink ward. And he does have his ultimate as ready as well. So if necessary, he can use it. Does have to burn his flash to get out of the Set ult. And now he finds himself getting ulted here. Or he does find himself forced to use his ult against the Set. But he is going to come out of that ult not really getting anything. He is going to fight the Jax as well. Jax is on him, probably going to kill him. No, the E actually saves him from dying there. So great job from the Warrior Gecko on the side of Mesa Community College to save himself from that gank. Not the worst thing in the world, though, as Jax is going to be able to get this Rift Herald here, and that is going to be great for PVCC, as that will help them take some early plating and give them a bit of a gold advantage that they kind of lost ever so slightly when Mordekaiser got the first blood there. So we'll go ahead and take a look and see what gets done about that. Now, Olaf and Lux are coming down to start the dragon, as the wave is about even right now on the side of on the bot lane. So I think that overall Mesa is going to be fine with this. They did lose Scuttle, and because of that, they will likely lose some plating and be at a gold disadvantage. But this Infernal Drake is actually pretty valuable for most of their champions. But look at that. They are just losing all of that plating. I think that was 2 plates that they just lost. So that was pretty good on their part. And you know, because these are both mages, I doubt there's not going to be a whole lot of movement coming from either of them, lest Galio uses his R for a gank, of course. But that plating on that mid tower is going to be pretty big later in the game as both teams start to take more turrets. Paradise Valley bot lane resetting once again as their wave pushes into the side of Mesa here. Another trade coming up top lane. Mordekaiser walks past the Set W. That's going to save him from a lot of damage. But the R is going to take a huge chunk of his health there. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to walk up to that Set. No, he makes it to the tower in time. And he will not be able to secure that kill once again. But Olaf is here now. He is ready. There is no ward. Set probably doesn't even know he's there. So if they really wanted to, they could tower dive them right now. Oh, here we go. He doesn't know. Jax is coming, though. Oh, my goodness. Galio comes in, kills Olaf, but not before Olaf takes down Set. And now Mordekaiser is chipping away at Jax. He kills Jax with the Q, fighting Galio right now, but Galio does not like taking magic damage, or Galio actually loves taking magic damage, I'm sorry. And Mordekaiser not really going to chunk him at all there. In fact, in this trade, I'm fairly certain Galio could win, but let's take a look here. Yeah, does end up taunting him. Nope, doesn't look like it. Mordekaiser not really looking to die anytime soon here. Oh, but here comes Set. He's teleported back, I think. Or he came back for sure. And isn't too happy about dying there, but Mordekaiser is going to be able to get out. So great lead from Mordekaiser at the start here. He does already have his Leeching Leer, and he has picked up some armor as well. So he is definitely ready to take on the AD champs that have been giving him some trouble. Good effort from the Galio on that gank, though. That definitely, he did get a good kill there that will give him a bit of gold up on Lux, who does have a CS lead on him at the moment. But overall, doesn't really do too much for the lane matchup. Jack's coming mid, trying to make something happen, but Galio is a bit too far back, as is the Lux, so she is going to be able to get out safely. Meanwhile, we got another scuffle bot lane. Ashe going to try to kill the Nautilus. Aphelios using his R to push them away. And I'm not sure if that was necessary, as Olaf did come down here, and I feel like that alone would have been enough to scare the bot lane off. But Ashe and Morgana, I'm not too sure. I feel like they could have stayed. I feel like no, they're definitely healthy. My apologies. Yeah, they were healthy enough to deal with that. They really don't want to be ganked right now by this Olaf, and if Olaf does manage to hit his ultimate, oh, looks like he's hitting it right now. And they're using to get out. Nautilus caught by the Ashe R. Morgana misses her Q on him, so he is going to be able to get out there, fortunately. And Mesa is narrowly avoiding a gank from from 4 members of the Paradise Valley Community College team. So close one. Nautilus coming in there with an R. I'm not sure if that was the wisest move, but if he did hit it, that would have been a great trade, but he did end up taking a bit of damage. Though not all is lost, not a big deal. Bot lane gonna reset again. And it has been pretty even in the bot lane. Aphelios does have a CS lead, but there hasn't really been too much action down there. Galio trying to engage on the Lux, but again, that Q is just, that's so strong from Lux to stop a Galio, because he just charges in a straight line, and it's just so predictable and so telegraphed. And, if Lux hits that Q, I mean, it's over. You can't really do anything. The trade is lost. Because if you get hit by the Q, you're taking an E and you're taking an empowered auto. So Lux is pretty much engage proof. Jack's gonna leap onto the Olaf here. Galio gonna try to make something happen as well. Does get the taunt off. Olaf is gonna die. Lux gets an ult off on both the Galio and the Jax, and actually manages to take down the Galio as well. She does kill Jax as well. She lands the snare, and he dies. That is a double kill from the Lux, so very important kills there from Lux. So she is sitting at a pretty solid advantage right now. The lane is frozen in the mid lane, and she is perfectly fine with coming down to the bot lane to try to make something happen while they control the dragon here. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser is down here as well. He does have some freedom to roam because of the massive advantage he has on the set right now. Ashe and Morgana, though, are they going to rotate to try and put a stop to this dragon? Yes, it looks like it, but they don't really have the health for this, so this is risky. I'm not sure this is the best idea. Morgana almost steals it, but Mordekaiser with his passive does manage to get those last crucial few hits to secure that objective. So overall, so far, great map control and objective control by the side of Mesa, and they are doing a pretty good job as well of positioning themselves so they don't get screwed over by these team fights. We see Lux actually has finally completed her mythic, as has Olaf. So we have a Gore Drinker, as I was saying, and a Ludens from Lux. So that's going to be a ton of burst damage from Lux and a ton of sustain from Olaf. So definitely going to be threatening here. Those champions, now that they are ahead, are going to be a huge threat. And, you know, despite the kills lead, the gold advantage isn't that high. Only about 1,000, 1,500 here from the side of PV, or from the side of Mesa, excuse me. So the comeback is definitely possible here. We see 3 members grouping up on the Olaf and the Mordekaiser trying to make something happen, but Mordekaiser captures Set in the ultimate and doesn't necessarily kill him, but he is super low right now. It does manage to get him down relatively low, about half health here. But Jax is in. Galio comes in as well, tries to kill Olaf. Olaf does have his R, though. He cannot be CC'd right now. He is doing his best. He does kill the Galio and the Jax. Is he gonna... Yep, Lux does manage to kill him as well. So that was a fantastic save from the Olaf there. Mordekaiser did go down, but I think that was definitely a big lead gained just now for Mesa. A lot of chaotic things happened down there. And Lux came in at just the right time as well, gave him that extra bit of damage that he needed. But man, that Olaf R, just so powerful. Definitely helps him with sustaining in those longer fights, especially with his built-in lifesteal and the Gore Drinker, of course, as well. So that definitely saved him a couple times over. Jax now finishing his Divine Sunder. That is going to be a Divine Sunder. Set has the Gore Drinker, so a bunch of the mythics coming out right now. So a lot of these champs are going to start coming online here with this with these mythics, because they are going to give them some good stat boosts. Especially Set with the Gore Drinker. That is a pretty big power spike for him. But so far, not too much action down in the bot lane either. Morgana did get a kill earlier, though that isn't really going to surmount to much, as it is just a support kill. But now Morgana coming up onto the Lux, trying to land a Q, doesn't seem to land it. And now she's using the exhaust on her, help the Jax. Jax comes in and stuns her. Jax gonna pop, Lax gonna pop her ult, doesn't do too much damage, and Jax gets the shutdown. That is an incredible gank from the Jax and the Morgana. And that was a big shutdown, too. I do not think Mesa is very happy about that one, especially onto the Jax. Top lane scuffle now happening again. Mordekaiser on the set isn't quite going to do much about it, though, as... You know, he doesn't really need to. He just kind of sits there and damages the set over time, and Set can't really do anything. We see Jax trying to get a bunch of river control right now. There is a ton of vision down here. So if there is a blue player, if there is a Mesa player down in the bot lane, they know about it, and they just see Olaf as he is forced to clear that pink ward. So very dominant right now. PV is pushing them back quite a bit right now, despite their gold disadvantage. So doing a very good job establishing map dominance here. I think right now, both of these teams are in a pretty good position where they can start taking turrets and grouping up for objectives more. Ocean Drake is going to be spawning in 40 seconds, so very, very soon. And Paradise Valley is honestly queued up to take this objective right now. Set's teleport is live, Galio's teleport is live, and his R is ready, his ultimate ability. So I think that this may go in favor of Paradise Valley. At least the fight for this drag, if there is going to be one. Oh, but this is the last thing you want to do right now, Ash. You don't really want to piss off Olaf. Okay. Is going to give her a bit of respect. But what are they doing? Paradise Valley, why are they taking these trades? They just have to stay alive for drag. Galio is going to end up... Is he going to live? No, he does die. Olaf pops his R and just runs. Now Set coming in, trying to do something about the drag, about the fight there. W does a pretty good chunk to most of the players, doesn't quite do anything. And Paradise Valley has just lost nearly half of their team because they were out of position. And now Mesa is going to take this dragon when it was so perfectly laid out for Paradise Valley. Oh my goodness. Not the end of the world, though. This isn't the only dragon they're going to take, or the only dragon in the game. But you really just can't throw away such a perfectly... When an objective is handed to you on a silver platter like that, you really don't want to throw it away like Paradise Valley did just now. So hopefully they won't be making that same mistake in the future, but that is going to be another dragon for Mesa, and I believe another one is going to be Soul for them. So interesting to see how Paradise Valley will respond to that. Jack's trying to make a gank happen onto the Mordekaiser. Doesn't quite make it happen, though. Mordekaiser probably sitting on a lot of gold right now. He will likely be finishing his Mythic very soon on his next pack. But we will see. I'm interested to see what he's going to go after the Riftmaker. Okay. Paradise Valley setting up some wards again in the bot side jungle, or in the bot side river. Try to make something happen, but oh my goodness, look at that damage from that Lux. Almost 2 shots to Morgana. If that black shield didn't come up, Morgana probably would have died there. So great reflexes from the Morgana, but look at how much damage this Lux is doing while she's ahead. She's going to start one-shotting these squishies, Ashe and Morgana. And she basically already is, but it's about to get so much worse if they don't, start to do something or try to create some sort of lead for themselves. Galio now with the blue buff is going to be able to last a little bit longer. His mana. Lux is playing a little forward here, but I think she's not too worried as her damage is insane right now. Nautilus not far behind, as he is definitely prepared to jump in and take some damage for her if he needs to. And you could definitely tell Lux is feeling confident right now. Especially because of how much damage he saw she just did to that Morgana. Nautilus, though, going to get routed by the Morgana Q. Ashe is going to start shipping at him. Uses his R and his flash to get away. Aphelios uses his R for some reason, maybe trying to make something happen. Burst him down a little bit. Nautilus is going to take some damage again. Jack's going to jump on him. Does get killed, but he is going to end up dying as well for it. Aphelios trying to get some damage on the bot lane duo. Isn't going to amount to much, though, as Galio jumps in to save the day here. Morgana does get caught by a Lux Q, and Olaf throws an axe, gets him down. Galio taunt is going to take down the Morgana. Is it going to be enough? I'm not sure they're going to be able to get out of this. Olaf just effortlessly walks at the Ashe there, takes her down, and then immediately kills Galio as well. So Olaf is basically, as that text above him says, he is unstoppable right now. There's really not much he can do at the moment. Not much that Paradise Valley can do about it at the moment to stop him. But Mesa's just running away with this one. It's just a couple bad positioning plays on the side of Paradise Valley, and now Mesa's capitalized on that, and they're just running away with it. Their gold lead has jumped from 1,500 to about 5,000 now, and that's just 5,500, and that's just unprecedented. Especially at this stage in the game, where you really don't want to be far behind in gold. Especially against a champion like Aphelios and Olaf. Morgana finding herself on the wrong end of Aphelios' gun there is going to manage to get out, though, thankfully, before Olaf catches up to her. Mordekaiser, a bit out of position here, is going to get stunned by the Ashe arrow, but he is going to live to see another day as they back off. They do not want to mess with the Nautilus Mordekaiser. That is just so much health and beefiness, and that can put a stop to you much faster than you think it can. Next dragon is going to be coming up soon here. We are going to wait and see if Paradise Valley is going to try and take this, or if they are just going to forfeit it. But it is Soul, I believe, so definitely not one you're going to want to lose. So they may just try to all in this one, but there's just so much sustain on and tankiness on the side of Mesa right now. It would just be so hard to kill them. And that burst from Lux as well, almost killing that Morgana. Nautilus trying to hook her in. Doesn't quite get it, though, unfortunately. But they are primed to take this dragon now if they really want to. I mean, all they have to do is just kite back a little bit and take it. Meanwhile, Paradise Valley is just huddled up in the backline, just sort of waiting for some sort of opening, but Mesa is not giving it to them, not an inch. They are somehow going to make their way down here. It looks like Mesa is going to be waiting in a little brush here to get this started. But PV not going to take the bait, though, it looks like. And we might be looking at a free drag here for Mesa. And that does mean Cloud Soul. Galio does get hooked, does jump in to kill the Nautilus. Lux ends up getting killing the backline. Morgana does go down. Aphelios as well on the Ashe. Galio tries to ult to save her, can't really do anything. And blue team steals the dragon here right under the noses of Paradise Valley. Olaf has popped his ult. He is unstoppable right now. Cannot be touched. He just runs right past the Galio who was killed by Aphelios. And now Olaf is running at the Jax. And while Jax can only run, there's nothing he can do but run. And Set just sitting top lane. I'm not sure if he was there the whole time. I actually wasn't really paying attention to that. But he was kind of just... It seemed he was just half health or something. I don't really know what happened there. But unfortunately, blue team has claimed the Ocean Soul. Or, I'm sorry, Mesa has claimed the Ocean Soul. So that is going to give them even more sustain than they already have now. And I think we might be looking at game, set, match here. All it really takes is just one team fight win here by Mesa. And they are going to be looking at a game 1 victory. Mordekaiser finds the Jax there as he walks at him. Mordekaiser is going to tank the tower, though, it looks like, to get that kill. Yep, just completely walks under. Is starting to get chunked, though, by the Ashe, but the Riftmaker is keeping him alive. Oh, there's so much CC, though, from Galio and Morgana, and he ends up getting shut down. Meanwhile, Olaf getting caught out as well. He does not have his R right now. There's not a whole lot he can do. Galio going to taunt him for a while. That's gonna stink. But Olaf, the lifesteal, it's just so much. He's out healing Galio's damage, kills Galio and the Ashe. Is he going to chuck an axe here to try to kill the Morgana? No, the Lux Q and the Comet going to end up killing Morgana. So Olaf is just so unstoppable right now. That's really the only way to put it. And the only player on Paradise Valley to build anti-heal at the moment is Galio. I think you're going to need a little more than that to keep him in check, though. So we will see if they are going to be able to keep Olaf in check. But that's a 700 gold bounty right now. Olaf is 12, 2, and 7. And that is a stat line. That is a terrifying stat line on an Olaf. I don't care who you are. If you see an Olaf running at you with a 700 gold bounty and 3 items, then, I mean, you're going to run. You turn tail and run, or you just take the L. We've got a few players just hanging out at Baron. Mesa just BMing a little bit. Looks like they're about to take Baron here with this massive lead, which is now climbed to 8,000 from 7,000. So they are doing some pretty good damage to this Baron. I'm not sure if PV is going to try and steal here, but we will see. Not too much they can do right now. Jax actually gets ulted by Mordekaiser, so he won't steal the Baron. That is actually so smart. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think to do that. I don't even know he reached them. I guess the ward over the wall allowed him to see Jax and pull him into the Death Realm. But that prevents Jax from stealing, and that was probably one of the few saving graces that PV had, and it just got ripped away by Mordekaiser's R. That is so unfortunate. And now we are watching an ARAM game right now, it looks like, as Mesa is just running it down the mid lane. They want to end this game fast. Their minions are buffed. Set comes in, tries to make something happen. That is so much shielding. They are all grouped up on the Olaf, but he is unstoppable. Oh my goodness, the Lux R kills 3, caught in the blast. Galio, Jax, and Set. Ashe gets taken down as well. But oh my goodness, the Lux R completely dumpstering Paradise Valley, and they're going to take this inhib. That looks like it's going to be game, set, match. That was such a clean ultimate. They all just lined up perfectly for the Lux art. They were just so focused on killing the Olaf. And I mean, that's just that's just what happens when you fight a late game fed Olaf, you know? You don't really have a choice. You have to look at him and do something, or otherwise you're going to die. But it looks like Lux was able to capitalize on that and just kill them. And that is going to be the play that gives Paradise Valley a game one loss. And Mesa going to be pretty happy about that. That is going to give them quite a bit of momentum going into this next game here. All right, guys, welcome back to game 2. By the way, I did not introduce myself. My name is Wax, also known as Armin, also known as Wax. So I will be hopefully casting these games as much as I possibly can. So we are going to go back into the banning phase into game 2 here. We do see Kennen and Misfortune banned again. Those were both the first 2 bans actually from either side last game too. So definitely target banning some of these players. Kane gets banned as well, so we might see the same bans. I definitely wager that Paradise Valley might want to ban Olaf, just seeing as how powerful he was and how dominant he was. And somebody said actually in the chat that playing melee champs into Olaf is not really a fun time, and I gotta agree there. That's definitely a death sentence if Olaf gets ahead. But you live and you learn. We do see the Aphelios ban come out from PV, so definitely don't want to see that Aphelios again. He is going to be a bit of a threat in general, so I think that they just want to remove as many threats as possible. Although I'm kind of surprised they haven't banned Olaf yet. I definitely was thinking Olaf was going to be one of the first ones they banned. But we do see the Ziggs pick. Ziggs was banned last game. I'm assuming that's one of the mains of the players on Paradise Valley. So we will see some Ziggs action, hopefully in the bot lane. I am a fan of Ziggs personally. He's a very fun champ to play, very annoying to play against. But we'll see. And Lucian gets picked as well. So the bot laners getting first pick probably here, or not. It could be Ziggs mid, but Lucian and Ziggs were both bans last game that are now getting first picked. And Olaf, there it is, the Olaf pick, second pick. I definitely think they should have banned Olaf if they knew what was good. But we'll see. Maybe they have a plan for it this time. But in my experience, a trauma ban is usually the best way to go. We see the Nunu pick come out from the side of Paradise Valley. I should remember that they've swapped sides now. So now Paradise Valley is going to be on the left and Mesa is going to be on the right. So we are going to see Nunu and Diana. So far, that's 3 AP champs on the side of Paradise Valley. So hopefully they don't pick any more AP champs. I think 3 is enough, especially because of how easy it is to itemize against AP champs. But we will see. And this Nunu could be either tank Nunu or just full AP Nunu that is going to be kind of a nuke with his R. But I'm not sure if they are going to go with full AP Nunu just because of the Ziggs and the Diana. So it doesn't really, it does seem sort of redundant to go full AP Nunu. We do see the Lux again. So that was another champ that was extremely dominant in the last game from Mesa. Did them a whole lot of favors. Actually won them that last team fight with that triple kill. That nuke was incredible. So they are going to have to deal with the Lux again. And we do see the Thresh ban come out. So it's definitely not keen to deal with Thresh or Morgana. So it looks like they're banning Morgana as well. And they are banning Mordekaiser too. At least, I'm sorry, Paradise Valley is banning Mordekaiser now. They don't really want to deal with that raid boss he kind of presented himself as in the last game. Definitely hard to kill. And I don't think you want to deal with Olaf and Mordekaiser on the same team, just due to that massive sustain. So now they are going to ban the Nami, which is also a pretty smart ban still. They didn't really see the Nami last game. But Nami is just an incredibly strong pick regardless, and especially when paired with Lucian. Nami Lucian is a very popular combo right now. The empowered autos that her ability gives Lucian just completely demolishes your health bar. It's insane. You can like 100-0 somebody at level 2. And we actually see the Cho'Gath, big bad Cho'Gath in the top lane. That is going to be a fun one to look at. I'm curious to see if this will be counterpicked. We see that Darius come out. Interesting pick. Darius does deal true damage, so that should be a decent matchup into Cho'Gath. I personally like ranged top into Cho'Gath because it does mess with him a fair bit. But Darius is still great into Cho, in my opinion. Does seem like a pretty solid matchup. Of course, that is with my limited experience with this game. It does seem like a skill matchup. Although late game Cho is going to be scary. And we see the Nautilus pick again from the side of Mesa. And the Blitzcrank gets picked as well. So yeah, we are looking at Ziggs AP carry. And then Lucian bot lane with Nautilus support. So we will see. We will see how this goes. All right, we are into game 2 here, guys.
To Summoner's
Here we are. We might see another invade here. Olaf is just going to go ahead and place a ward real quick just to scout them out. Nunu is going to put a ward in the same brush,
spawn.
and it looks like Paradise Valley is going to try to go for something sneaky here. We will see. Does hook the Nautilus. I don't know if that's the one you were looking for. He's AFK. I don't know. It doesn't have to get flashed. And Ziggs gets him the first blood. Oh my goodness. That was fantastic. I don't know if Nautilus was AFK or if he just didn't or wasn't like looking there, but wasn't paying attention, but oh my goodness, that was hilarious. He didn't realize until he got to about a quarter health that he was in trouble. And that is going to be a pretty nice lead for the Ziggs coming into this. So that actually is going to afford him a Tear of the Goddess. So he is going to be able to start stacking mana a little bit earlier, which is fantastic for him. So very nice lead there starting off for the side of Paradise Valley. So we are going to see what they do with this, or if they can take advantage of it. Ziggs is somewhat vulnerable and does go through a lot of mana early, but with that W, that Satchel Bomb, that should be a pretty solid way for him to avoid ganks if he can help it. And we see some trading already happening in the mid lane. Lux getting the wave shoved in as quickly as she can against this Diana. Already landing the Q and the W combo with the empowered auto. So Diana already very low. Might already be forced to back up here soon. Or at the very least, just play under tower. And Ziggs is definitely going to be much more of a threat than Ashe when Griggs was on Ashe. You can already see he's doing some pretty solid poke right now with the E and the Q. And the Blitzcrank also getting a nice solid pull onto the Nautilus. So this is definitely... Ziggs is going to be able to force a lead much easier for Paradise Valley here. He's just so good at just poking and chipping away. And while that does make him a bit more mana hungry, it is worth it in the end, in my opinion. Especially with that mana, that Tear of the Goddess that he was just kind of given for free. Problem is, though, him and Blitzcrank are focusing different targets. I mean, Ziggs starts getting the Lucian low, and Blitz goes and hooks the Nautilus instead. So, I mean, I think they do need to unify a little bit more in order for them to get something, to get some sort of advantage out of it. But we will see. And it looks like we are going to see a pause here. It looks like Cho'Gath is lagging pretty hard. About 400 ping. So we are hopefully going to get that taken care of soon. But in the meantime, I still want to talk about this Ziggs bot lane. And Ziggs bot was something that was actually in the meta for a while this season, but fell off once they, I believe, nerfed the mana cost and the slow of his Q and W, respectively. And he had sort of fallen out of meta in the bot lane, and people were thinking that he was going to be still very relevant in the mid lane, and now you're not really seeing him too much. I'm not too sure how he is in pro play, but at least in all the games that I've been playing, I haven't really seen much of Ziggs at all. So it is really cool to see somebody here still sticking to Ziggs bot. And it looks like we are going to see an unpause here. And I am kind of rooting for this Ziggs low-key. I do really want him to try to force his way into a lead here, as we didn't really see too much action in the bot lane for very long last game. So it'll be interesting to have something exciting happen here. Okay, looks like we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Looks like the game was frozen for a little bit for us, but we are back. Thankfully, nothing crazy happened while we were gone. Ziggs Definitely got a deep ward in the jungle, that or in his river. That's going to help him. Olaf will take Scuttle here. Nunu's already in on the Lux to get an early gank off. This may be a kill for them. That's right, it is. And Diana taking 3 tower shots. Thankfully, Nunu is there to soak up most of the damage. And it will be forced to flash. Olaf gonna try to Q Nunu, but barely gets it. So that was a very solid gank from the Nunu onto the Lux there. And right now, we are seeing PV come into a pretty solid lead early game, and that's really nice. You know, it's really nice to have your Diana ahead, because Diana is going to be one of those champs that is going to be terrifying to go up against. And meanwhile, we're still seeing Ziggs just completely bully this poor Lucian, who's hasn't really been above 70% health this entire laning phase. But Ziggs is running low on mana, so we will see if that amounts to anything. And it looks like I didn't catch it, but Darius actually got a kill onto the Cho'Gath. So far, all 3 lanes have a small lead right now, even the jungle with some assists under his belt. So very excited to see if things might turn around for Paradise Valley this game. And we could go to a game 3 if they keep this performance up. And one thing you'll notice is Ziggs is actually running teleport right now instead of the usual heal that we see AD carries run. And that is because, if I'm correct, Ziggs is just so mana hungry that, and most AP champs in general, when they are played bot, they're just so mana hungry. Sometimes it's better to run TP so that when they back to get their mana back, they can immediately come back and not miss much experience. I could be wrong though, but that's my best guess. All right, Darius gets another kill onto the Cho'Gath there and gets executed as well. So Cho'Gath doesn't even get the kill credit, and he still burns flash as well. So, my goodness, Darius definitely on fire. That's another champ you don't want to see get ahead. Darius is very, very scary to fight. Meanwhile, the bot lane is pushing up into the Lucian. Olaf is going to be able to take this drag solo. So, unfortunately, Paradise Valley is not really in a position where they can take this dragon. Diana is going to come down, maybe try to make something happen. I'm not sure if this is going to be wise, though. As Nunu comes in behind her, gets caught. Diana jumps in. Oh my goodness! She comes in, ult steals the dragon, kills Olaf and Nautilus. And Lucian is forced to back as well, even though Lux tried to stop the Nunu. Diana just didn't care. She just went in and got both of them. Oh my goodness. And that is going to be huge for Diana. 2 kills and the drag. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of gold that Mesa just lost. And a lot of stats as well. Meanwhile, a bit of a scrap coming in from the bot lane. Lucian gets to press the attack proc onto the Ziggs. Can't really follow it up, though, as Ziggs has laid out a bit of a minefield for him. So, I really, really like how aggressive and just dominant Mesa is being right now. Lucian on the Ziggs, trying to make something happen. Ziggs gets the satchel charge away. Lucian is forced to heal. Ziggs Q almost kills him. Is he going to be able to get him in time? No. That was an incredible trade. Lucian kills Ziggs as he barely survives the fraction of health. So that is a great kill from Lucian. Great outplay as well. And Ziggs did his absolute best to stay away. You know, he used the satchel charge to jump over the wall. He hit some very nice Qs, but he missed that one crucial Q at the very end, and that's what got him killed. But overall, that was very well played from both players, honestly. Now Nunu is coming mid, wants to find another kill onto this Lux here, and Lux is got a little too greedy playing up right there, and that is just never a position you want to be in when you're behind and there's a Nunu on the enemy team as an immobile mage like Lux. So he's going to get taken down there again by the Nunu. That's going to be a kill for Nunu, actually. So now he's going to start getting some gold as well. And we're just seeing some fantastic gameplay right now from Paradise Valley. They've already amassed a 3,000 gold lead at the very beginning of the game. So far things are looking up for them. And these are champions that scale very well as well. I mean, is this... Oh, so it is Tank Nunu. Okay, so Tank Nunu is going to be just a solid tank. And then Darius also late game will just kind of run you down. Ziggs as well with those Qs is just going to be a complete monster to play against. And Diana, I mean, don't even get me started. Like, we all hate that champion. If you play League of Legends, you hate Diana. And Olaf actually tries to walk up and try to claim that shutdown on Diana, but she is able to maneuver away. No vision really over where Diana was walking for Mesa, so wasn't really able to track her movement. So she is safely back at the mid lane here. Now Olaf making his way to the top lane, wants to make something happen on this Darius here, who does have a 150 gold shutdown. But he does get spotted by the ward, and Darius is able to back out in time while taking the turret as well. So this gold lead for Paradise Valley just continues to climb here. And I gotta be honest, I was expecting a completely different result. And Blitz hits the Q onto the Lucian. Ziggs is going to kill him as well. My goodness, that was a fantastic hook from the Blitzcrank. Great job by Ziggs following that up. And that is another kill, another 300 gold for Paradise Valley in game 2 here. And they were definitely looking shaky at the start of that first game here. But so far, it looks like they've finally found their footing with these champions, even with that Olaf being as threatening as he is. And I do want to mention as well that Paradise Valley has not won a game yet. So if they run away with this match and then come back for game 3, then that would be their first win of the season. Meanwhile, Mesa is looking to find another win here. I believe they're 1-1 right now. So it'd be nice if they could find a second win. And Olaf trying to find his way onto the Darius. Darius is doing a really good job of just making himself scarce when he's about to get ganked. So doing a pretty good job playing back. His minions are pushing up though, so I'm not sure if he wants to stay or if he wants to sort of support his other lanes here. But we will see. Ocean Drake is going to be spawning soon, and I think that Paradise Valley wants to get that set up. Blitzcrank starting to roam around a little bit, set up some wards in the enemy jungle so we can track their movement a little bit as they get ready for Dragon. And right now, they all seem to be in the optimal position to get this Dragon here. They've got wards set up all over the river. They've got the Scuttle Crab as well. Lux is, oh my goodness, just manages to get out there. Never mind, he does get hit the snowball, but nope, try as they might, they are not able to get that kill onto the Lux. Okay. But they've completely left Dragon open for Lucian and Nautilus, though they will be returning to it as they back up here. Definitely going to be the smart play there, as we've got all 5 players on the drag here. Blitz hits the hook onto Olaf, does force him to burn his flash, and now they're all retreating here. Hopefully they don't get too greedy and just take the Dragon. I do not know if it's worth going for gold right now, you guys. This is a free Dragon. This happened last game as well. Blitzcrank gonna get attacked. Olaf tries to get away with his R, doesn't quite make it. And I think that Paradise Valley is going to be fine with that 1 kill. And that was so risky. I mean, Blitzcrank almost died. Look at how low all of them are as well. So they definitely almost threw that fight. I mean, I'm getting flashbacks from that last drag fight from the other game where they were so set up for it perfectly, and then one misstep completely lost it for them. But it looks like they did learn from that mistake, and they immediately ran to the objective and got it taken care of. So well played on their part. Looks like they are going to be able to get this tower as well in the mid lane. Probably not. No, never mind. Looks like Lux is back, and she does not want to get rid of this tower anytime soon. All right. Another notable thing is that so far we have 3 players with shutdowns on the side of Paradise Valley right now. Lucian almost gets taken down there by the Ziggs, actually. That fed Ziggs, those Qs are really starting to chunk right now. That is some very high damage. And it looks like he's getting close to his mythic. He is going to go for a Leandries. That is definitely going to be the best option into a Cho, Olaf, and a Nautilus, who all just build a ton of health. And still does a solid damage to a squishy like Lucian and Lux. Nautilus going to try to make something happen there. Does get a hook onto the Blitzcrank. Not too much comes of it, though. as we are starting to see Nunu doing some counter jungling. And I don't even know if that's the right term, but he does take Olaf's blue buff as well. So he is perfectly content with taking those jungles camps right now, as his team is just sitting comfortably with a solid lead. And I'm just not, I don't know. This is looking so far pretty favorably for Paradise Valley right now. I mean, all the champs that need to scale are getting the gold they need. They're getting their items. Ziggs just completed his Leandry, so that's going to be a massive power spike for him as well. That's going to give him wave clear. That's going to give him more poke damage. And also Diana's getting close to her Night Harvester as well. I believe just a few more waves and she might be able to get that. We do see Olaf making his way to the mid lane, though. I think he really wants to try to get this Diana taken care of, because we really got to keep her out of the game. Diana does spot the Olaf and is playing a bit safer here. She definitely sees him. Olaf is going to be forced to pop his R to get away there as Nunu lands a snowball. So that is going to be crucial for Diana. She's going to be able to safely back out. And it looks like we see teams pinging the Rift Herald. So that might be going to be next on the agenda for both of these teams. Blitzcrank tries to make something happen. Does overcommit a bit. Lucian does take him down. Not the end of the world, though. But that is a nice bit of gold for the Lucian there. Unfortunate from Blitzcrank, but, you know, it happens. I think he did get a bit tilted after missing that Q onto the Lux, but, you know, it's all good. It happens. And we are going to see Mesa now making their way to the Rift Herald. Looks like their players are all perfectly in position. I think that Blitzcrank death may have shaken up Paradise Valley a little bit and psyched them out a little bit, but I believe that this fight was perfectly winnable without him. And here comes Nunu now trying to steal. He has no vision here, so this is he's just running in completely blind here. And he steals the Rift Herald too! Oh my goodness! Kills them. Darius running in as well. Gets an execute onto the Olaf. Now Diana coming in. Gets the 3-man ult. Kills all 3 of them. Or doesn't kill all 3 of them. Darius kills all 3 of them with his R reset. And oh my goodness. That was so ballsy from Nunu. He just ran in and had no idea what was going to happen. And just hard CC'd all of them. Darius came in and just said, you know what? I think I'll kill you guys now. And then Diana comes in, you know what? I'll take some of that too. And just completely dumpstered all of them with that ult. My goodness. That was incredibly well played. And now we see them starting to take a ton of towers here. Nautilus gets hooked by the Blitzcrank. And man, nothing is going right now. But Darius gets killed. That is an 800 gold bounty for Olaf right now. And that may be a comeback that they desperately needed here, as Olaf is starting to become a little stronger here, a bit more resilient. But now Ziggs very, very closely walking near that Olaf, and Olaf does manage to walk. Does get out there. Ziggs does manage to escape, which is great. We don't want him getting another shutdown. That would definitely be bad news. So I think right now the best move for Paradise Valley right now is to try to find a way to end this game quickly. They really don't want to stall this out, because once Olaf gets more items and gets more fed and Lucian gets more fed, it's not going to be pretty. So I definitely think it is in Paradise Valley's best interest to try their best to win these fights as quickly as possible. Mountain Dragon is up right now, and we do see both of these teams playing a little bit of footsie. Want to find some sort of positional lead here. Looks like Mesa is going to back off a little bit, give them some respect. Definitely a smart move here. Blitz is low on mana, though, so if he is going to go for a Q, he needs to hit it, absolutely. But I really don't think it is in Paradise Valley's best interest to play a little passively here. They definitely want to get in, especially with they have 2 tanks. They got Blitz and Nunu, and they've got a juggernaut like Darius. I mean, these are champions that want to fight, you know, especially Darius. Darius is a very scrappy champion. And if you can give him that opportunity, then he's just going to completely pop off. We see Ziggs throwing some Qs out. That's actually really good. Doing some really good area control right now. Landing some good damage. Diana gets Lux, who is caught in the middle of that Ziggs Q as well. Blitzcrank manages to kill Olaf before he's able to pop off a little bit. And now they are just chasing the Nautilus and the Lucian right now. The ult from Nunu going to help take down the Nautilus. And Lucian is now out of there. He is done. And that is going to be yet another successful team fight from Paradise Valley. And they are going to be able to take this drag for free. And these Diana ults are just so insanely massive. I cannot believe how impactful she is of a champion. And Saidu doing a really good job just capitalizing on the fact that this momentum, then we should be looking at a pretty solid win, a pretty decisive win from the side of Paradise Valley. Now we are seeing Mesa fall back a little bit. They do not want to get too aggressive right now. They are just staying back, farming, trying to salvage the gold that they can get so that they can come back and hopefully be able to win a team fight. And it really, honestly, this Diana is going to be such a massive problem for them. If they can't kill her early, it's going to be very unfortunate because she is just so much AoE burst damage for Paradise Valley. And Ziggs as well as he's tough too, but he's very squishy. And now Olaf being forced to R out. Very good Q from Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is pretty solid with these Qs right now. Definitely putting Mesa on edge right now. Litigo hits another one onto the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath now completely on his own. Does flash, but doesn't really get too far. She goes in. Diana does kill him as well. The Nunu R is going to shut down the Olaf too. Nautilus now by himself gets queued by the Blitzcrank. Nunu gets a double kill on him. And now we're just kind of looking at these players dropping like flies from the side of Mesa. And there's not really a whole lot they can do at the moment, but try to single out players. But Paradise Valley is doing such a good job of staying grouped right now. This is like a completely different team from last game. I don't know if it's the champions they're playing or what, but they just have so much more cohesion and dominance right now than, and we're just, I'm glad we're finally seeing that. They are going to take down the Baron as well, so that is going to be a massive boon for them as they make their way towards the enemy nexus. They are going to have to start getting these turrets, and they've done a great job taking objectives, but now all they really need to do is just focus on pushing these lanes and getting these turrets down so they can win and get that game 2 victory before Mesa starts to scale. Right now, there's not a whole lot that Mesa can do aside from wait out this Baron buff. But it looks like we are just seeing a few of Paradise Valley's players flocking mid here. They definitely want to stay in the lanes with these minions so that they can give them their buffs and get these lanes shoved in to get those turrets. Ziggs especially is a very good artillery champion. He's just great at shoving waves and killing towers. But by himself, he is very weak, and it's great that now Blitz and Nuno are with him. Does throw that W down onto the tower to get that killed. And now they are going to be running at the bot tower here as we are seeing them group up again. And Ziggs is feeling very safe. He is comfortable with just throwing a ton of Qs out right now while he's got his Blitzcrank and his Nunu here with him, as well as Diana to you know? And really, if Diana goes in right now with this ult, she got a 3-man ult, and Ziggs could just follow that up, and they'd all get one shot for sure. That Blitz Q narrowly missing the Nautilus and the Lucian. And you can tell just how terrified Mesa is right now. They do not want to get messed up right now by this Ziggs. The Blitzcrank Q is going to hit. Lucian is going to get hooked there. Ziggs are to follow that up, doesn't quite get it, but Lucian just has so many escape mechanisms right now. He's got the Gale Force, he's got the dash. I don't know if he flashed there or anything, but definitely a lot of options for him, thankfully. Blitz tries to get him again, doesn't quite get it. And now Blitzcrank almost getting caught by that Q, flashes at just the right time. And we're just waiting for another team fight to happen. I'm hoping for Blitzcrank to hit another Q here, and that should definitely spark another team fight. So we will see. I definitely think that they should just stay focused on clearing waves as fast as possible. And one thing I'd like to see Paradise Valley do here is go for tower dives. I mean, they've got 2 tanks right now, and that is just like the perfect recipe, the perfect storm for a tower dive. I mean, you've got 2 tanks, you've got one of the highest AoE burst damage champs in the game, and then you've got Ziggs, who's got that perfect long-range poke and burn. So I think that they are more than capable of tower diving, especially with this Drake that's going to give them a boost to their defenses coming up. So hopefully they are able to feel comfortable enough to get a tower dive going. But with an inhib down right now, Mesa is doing all they can to keep these super minions from pushing in. And at the moment, we're just seeing them take camps and everything. We just are watching them group up and just farm. And so they're maintaining a pretty incredible lead right now, but they really need to start doing more stuff with it. They really need to start looking for fights. They can definitely afford to play a bit riskier here, especially because all they really have to do is win one team fight realistically, and then the game is over. So they are dragging this on a bit unnecessarily, and all they're really doing is giving Mesa more opportunities to farm gold and get their items that they so desperately need to have a chance in these team fights. But they did make some good use out of that Baron buff, Paradise Valley did. They were able to get the inhib, they got the more turrets pushed in. What we really need right now, again, as I've said, is we just need some proactivity from Paradise Valley. They just need to play a bit more proactive here and just get on these players, because they can't just sit under tower forever, you know? Otherwise, they'll just get all their items and their gold for free, and they'll get their items, and next thing you know, they'll be full build, and it'll just be harder and harder to win these team fights if they have items. Starting to see them play a bit more aggressively here, though, as they are starting to group up mid. Looks like they are going to finally take that chance and try to tower dive here. I really think the tanks should be a little less concerned for their health bars, because, I mean, first of all, they're already great at taking damage. And then second of all, I mean, they're tanks. They can take so many tower shots, you know? And it's not like and for all we know, they might not even die because of how much damage Diana and Ziggs do together. I mean, they'll probably get bursted down. Mesa might get bursted down before the PV tanks even get a scratch on them. But this tower is slowly getting chipped away still. I mean, the base tower here from Mesa is definitely looking pretty low on health. It's really just on PV right now to make something happen and, you know, get a fight going. But all we're seeing right now, though, is just all these players farming for free. And I think that, you know, now that we've got a super minion wave pushing, yeah, I mean, that's great and all. You've got a wave that's constantly pushing, but you need to push with that wave as well. I mean, one super minion can can almost solo an entire regular wave. And they really need to capitalize that. They need to push with the super minions. They need to utilize these waves and these advantages that they're giving themselves. And I don't know if it comes from a lack of confidence or anything or what, but it really seems like they're just playing so unnecessarily careful when there's just so much reward that comes from a moderate of at worst a moderate risk. But they are going to take this Baron again. That'll definitely give them a bit more of a that'll probably make them a little more comfortable when they're trying to take the Nexus here. So hopefully that will result in them taking this mid turret or maybe the inhib again, and hopefully just winning this team fight. Looks like the turret actually did get taken down. My mistake. I must have missed that. But they're just in the perfect position right now to just walk in and just win the team fight. Just kill the inhibs, wait for your minions to come in, and then just demolish them. Blitzcrank and Darius getting a little close here. Trying to take that top tower, which I'm honestly somewhat confused on. I feel like the best thing you could do is capitalize on the leads you already have and not just try to find more leads elsewhere, because otherwise you're spreading yourself too thin. And it looks like that's what they're doing here as Darius goes in, tries to get a E on the Cho'Gath. Can't really chunk him down. Cho'Gath is just so tanky. It does have to flash there, unfortunately. I see it's starting to get chunked by Darius's passive. And this actually will give Paradise Valley some room to kill this turret. So I guess they are going to be able to rotate and kill not one, but two inhibs now as well. So now they've got their empowered minions coming, and they're really, now it's just a matter of, you know, actually engaging and getting those kills. So now we're seeing another inhib come down. So that is now triple inhibs for Paradise Valley. Blitzcrank gets the Q onto the Cho'Gath Pulsament. He gets chunked down. Darius ends up getting the kill on him. Diana using that R to find Olaf, but Olaf manages to R away in time. And so far, things are looking grim right now for the side of Mesa. They do not have their biggest tank right now, and their towers are getting completely demolished right now. Now they're just going to try for the all-in. The R from the Nunu is slowing everybody down. All that damage. Diana just running in, doing so much damage. That Ziggs as well. They just can't keep up right now. Lux tries to get the kill onto the Blitzcrank, but it is not enough. That tower is already done. It is GG. That is game 2 for Paradise Valley. So the current score sits at 1-1. Game 3 is going to be the deciding factor. Let's go ahead and see what that's going to be looking like later. We are back, guys. This is game 3 of Mesa versus Paradise Valley Community College. And this is going to be, so far, this match has kind of been a doozy. I mean, we saw Mesa completely walk all over Paradise Valley in game 1. And then in game 2, we saw vice versa. Paradise Valley just completely stomped Mesa harder than Mesa actually beat PV. So I think now we finally got some stakes, tensions high. I'm really looking forward to see the outcome of this game. And right off the bat, we are seeing the same bands over and over again. Kennen, MF, Tryndamere. I'm starting to think these guys really don't want to see these champions. And now Olaf is getting banned too, interestingly enough. He was one who actually didn't have much of a presence last game. I think they really just don't want to have to deal with the unstoppable Olaf ultimate anymore. So that's probably why they're going ahead and banning him. Now Silas is getting banned again. Of course, I don't think we're going to be seeing Silas for a while. Silas is incredibly strong. And we're going to see what the third ban is going to be for Paradise Valley here. Aphelios. Okay, it looks like we're seeing Ziggs actually come out from Mesa now. So they have actually stolen the Ziggs pick from Mesa. So I wonder if they have a Ziggs player. I don't think we've seen any of them play Ziggs so far. So very interesting to see how Paradise Valley is going to deal with this. I mean, we did see Griggs Beef play Ashe last game, or I'm sorry, in game 1, and it didn't perform too hot, unfortunately. They kind of went toe-to-toe with the bot lane of Mesa. It wasn't really too exciting, but we now see a Caitlyn being picked. So we haven't seen Griggs Beef play Caitlyn, so this is going to be an interesting one. Caitlyn is pretty good at dealing with mages, actually, in my opinion, in the bot lane. So just on account of her insane range damage, she can actually outrange a lot of champions. Not so much Ziggs, but Heimerdinger and Swain, for example. I think Caitlyn plays really well into them. But I'm interested to see how she'll do into a Ziggs bot, if it is a Ziggs bot. And now we're seeing a Kayn and a Xin jungle. We did see the Kayn banned the last 2 games from the side of Paradise Valley, so they really didn't want to see this Kayn coming into game 3, and now they are going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. Kayn is a very terrifying pick. He gets banned a lot in high elo, especially, so I mean, if high elo players are afraid of this champion, I'm kind of terrified to see how he's going to fare in this game. And then the Xin pick is also pretty good as well. Pretty solid champion. He has kind of fallen off a bit in the meta, but he is still very strong. And we are ending, it looks like. Did something happen? I wonder what went down. All right, so we are looking at a mysterious disappearance of our player. Oh, there he is. Okay, well, hopefully they can go ahead and start again. Lagged and auto-picked. Oh, okay. Same picks and bans. Okay, so it looks like we just had one of our players lag out. That's unfortunate, but they are going to go ahead and start again with the same picks and the bans. And I'm just curious to see how Paradise Valley is going to deal with this Kayn here. Because Kayn is an extreme threat. I don't really want to have to deal with Kayns in my games personally. There is also a new Kayn build floating around. I don't know if it's in Europe or just high elo in general, but there's a Kayn build where essentially it's called Purple Kayn, where you go blue Kayn, Shadow Assassin Kayn, but instead of building just assassin items, you build Gore Drinker because of how strong Gore Drinker is right now, and then you build some other like lethality, like typical assassin items for. So the build is called Purple Kayn, and I'm wondering we're gonna get to see that this game. That would really be interesting. I'd love to see a Purple Kayn this game. I mean, we already know Gore Drinker is insane right now. So we will see. And as much as we all hate playing against Kane, he is a pretty fun champion to watch just kind of float around the map and, dish out a ton of damage. But we'll see. I mean, we are ready when they are. So we will just go ahead and continue to wait for them to start. All right, we are back. Sorry, I sincerely apologize for that delay, you guys, but we did have some technical difficulties. We do have it figured out, thankfully. Unfortunately, one of the players from Mesa did lag out a tiny bit, but we did get it sorted out, and we are going to be proceeding as normal. So here we go, game 3, guys. Honestly, I think it only added to the tension, in my opinion. So hopefully, we will see. So we have the Ziggs, we have the Kane. I still think it's hilarious how Mesa stole that Ziggs pick from Paradise Valley. That is just so funny to me. Okay, let's see. Are we going to see the Diana pick? Now we see a Nico. I thought they were going to pick Fizz, weren't they? Now they're picking Vex. I see. Okay, I see. So it looks like they are just going to go ahead and proceed. And now we got the Vex instead of the Diana, which is interesting. I was really hoping to see some of that Diana because it was just so impactful in the last game. And I feel like with squishies like Nico and Ziggs, Diana would still be extremely effective. And Nico's a champion we actually really haven't seen too much at all this season. I mean, I remember her pick rate being something like 0.7% right now, which makes her like one of the lowest played champs in the entire game at the moment. So I don't know if that's going to have any impact on her effectiveness this game, but it definitely seems like she's not a popular pick at the moment. We see the Mordekaiser and the Nami bands come out pretty expected from Paradise Valley. And we see a Thresh and a Blitzcrank band. That Blitz band is definitely a smart idea because Blitz, I mean, that Blitzcrank did such a good job. Draconian Fear landed so many crucial hooks that helped his team snowball into those games. Loved it. So now we are going to see a Gnar pick. Okay. Gonna see the Gnar top. And we will see who Mesa will pick in response to that. Looks like they are going to go for the Malphite. Okay, love it. And then now comes the Nautilus. So we are seeing the Nautilus 3 games in a row from the side of Mesa now. And we are seeing just completely different champs every single game here. And I love that. I mean, these teams are completely different except for the Nautilus. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, right now we're seeing Paradise Valley playing an entire team of completely different champions than what they played in game 1 and in game 2. So definitely going to be flexing their champ pool a little bit here. And I'm really excited to see how both of these teams play out. I think that the overall AoE team fight potential from Mesa, that'll probably give them an edge in the team fights, but we will see. I'm definitely also looking forward to seeing Psydude play that Vex. That'll definitely cause some problems for the Kane, who likes to dash a lot. So we'll see. We are going to be getting into this game very, very soon, you guys. So this is it. Game 3, Mesa versus Paradise Valley. We will catch you guys when the game starts. All right, guys. Here we are, game 3. Right off the bat, we are seeing Paradise Valley ping the Tribush in the bot lane. So I'm thinking, are they going to try go for an invade here? We will see. They are definitely all grouping up here right now. It definitely seems like they want to try something here, try to give themselves an early lead to just end this as soon as possible. But Nautilus and Ziggs are ready for it. They're just sitting in the Tribush, waiting patiently. Waiting. They now know that Ward is there, so they see the Leona is nearby, but she is backing off, it looks like, so not going to go for and an invade here. But probably that's for the best.
Minions have spawned.
Okay. And this is going to be no leash for the Kayn here, as Kayn does tend to start Raptors. So that should be a decent lead for... Oh, never mind. Looks like Leona and Caitlyn are starting bot lane as well, as Xin Zhao is starting red. So maybe he'll go for an invade. I'm not so sure. I'm actually kind of curious to see how the junglers are going to play, because I know Kayn's pathing is relatively unique compared to other junglers. So maybe that will influence how Xin Zhao will path, but we will see. So far, Ziggs and Nautilus are showing up late, probably trying to feign a leash for their Kayn. So now they think that Kayn has started red, likely, and we're just going back to some standard trading. I don't know if that will impact anything, but only time will tell. And it looks like Xin Zhao isn't going to go for an invade. He is probably just going to go ahead and path down to bot lane. Looks like it, yep. Although it probably would have benefited him to actually go down, go up, excuse me, to blue and maybe steal Kayn. But I mean, you know, you can't. I mean, hindsight's 2020. But so far we're seeing Ziggs do Ziggs things in the bot lane here, not really doing much other than just spamming Qs and being a bit of a lane bully. And we see Meganar for the first time in the top lane. And Malphite is already running low on mana here, so Gnar might be winning some of these trades in the long run here if Malphite can't keep his mana pool up. Additionally, we're not really seeing too much action in the mid lane right now. Just two mages going at it, you know. Nothing crazy. I do love Nico, though. I mentioned how Nico has a very low play rate, and I think that she really is an underrated pick, in my opinion. I think her damage and her CC and that ult, they're just so strong. Leona, though, hitting an E onto the Ziggs, forcing them to flash, does get the exhaust off as well. And now Xin Zhao is coming to gank them both. Nautilus has to flash as well. We're seeing so many summoner spells coming out now. Ziggs managing to get out with that W. Nico now here as well gets a root onto the Leona, does get first blood now. So that was actually a failed gank. Great response from the Nico. Just completely saved them there. A lot of summoner spells were burned, but overall, Ziggs lives, and Leona now has to do the walk of shame back. So overall, that was fantastic from Nico. She had lane prio. You could see earlier that wave was really shoving in under tower. There wasn't too much Vex could do, but just kind of have to deal with that, you know? And that gave Nico a perfect opportunity to come all the way down into the bot lane and save Nautilus and Ziggs there. And this Gnar is still doing a pretty good job of keeping this Malphite under tower. Is careful not to take too many trades with him, but he's really just keeping Malphite away from those minions. Unfortunately. Xin Zhao, though, now coming up to Gnar, he thinks that Gnar has overstayed his welcome on Malphite's side of the lane. Still doesn't see. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. My bad. Xin Zhao and Gnar are on the same team. Sorry about that. My bad. Okay. Malphite is going to be forced to burn his TP. Another wave crashing under his tower. And somehow still managing to keep up a decent CS with Gnar, despite being forced to play under tower. So great job for Malphite, just staying, you know, doing a great job CSing, all things considered, even though he does have to burn TP. And Vex is level 6 here, so she may want to try something on Nico if she can help it. Looks like she's already... Wow, that was a fantastic trade. She took Nico down all the way to half HP just with a few abilities. So far, Vex doing a pretty good job keeping this Nico at bay. But Nico now has level 6, and that is a massive power spike for her now. She's going to be so much more of a threat in team fights. And I'm looking forward to see how PV is going to play around that. Okay, first drag is up now, has been for a decent while. All of the Mesa players are now grouping up around it, try to get that. Looks like they are just going to take it for free. PV isn't really in a position where they can try to contest it, so that is going to be the first drag for Mesa here. And honestly, this is what makes Ziggs so great. I mean, the fact that he can just push waves so easily in the bot lane and just give himself and his team tower or objective control is just fantastic. Still seeing some trades in the mid lane. Nothing too crazy. Xin is going to be on the scuttle here soon, so he might try to come down for a gank, but if the last gank was any indication, I wouldn't be so quick to go for that. Goes mid lane to try to see if it can find Nico. Can't necessarily, as she does back up a little bit, give herself some safe. I'm sure she just sensed that Xin wasn't really on the map for a while and backed up a bit. So that was a good decision in my opinion. And we're still just seeing some trades here. Nico landing a root onto Vex, doing a solid amount of damage. And man, if you could hit an empowered root on your target as Nico, I mean, with Electrocute as well, that is just so much damage. You could see Vex lost almost half her health. Both of these mages have some really great base damage. Neither of them really have an insane amount of items right now. And the Warrior Gecko just using his ult onto the Gnar there while he was under tower, taking the aggro. So Vocal Sage ended up taking quite a few tower shots, and now he's just going to get autoed down by Gecko. That is a great solo kill from Malphite onto that Gnar. Is he going to get revenge killed? No. The Q gives him a great amount of bonus speed, and he is able to get out without taking much damage from the Xin Zhao. We now see Kayn lying in wait. He is sitting on a ward, though. I'm not sure he is aware of that. He's just kind of sitting there waiting for the PV bot lane to push up a little bit. But I'm sure they know he's there, and with this wave pushing up, they are aware that it is a bit dangerous right now. So yeah, they are going to be backing up a little bit, waiting for Ziggs to push this wave back into them. And they may use this opportunity. Yep, they are using this opportunity to reset. And now Ziggs just gets to farm for free. Almost 10 minutes into the game now, only 2 kills so far. Both are in the favor of Mesa right now. So let's see if they can do anything with this tiny lead. Oh no, oh my goodness, they were gonna give Ziggs the blue buff, but it accidentally reset. That's unfortunate. Looks like Xin is going to get that one for free. That is unfortunate. Sorry, Ziggs. And he really could have used that buff as well. And we're seeing some players group up now on PVCC. Are they going to go and try for a gank here? Nope, doesn't look like it. They are just going to go for a reset, it looks. They seem a little indecisive here with what they want to do. We do see Kane and Nico both sitting on a ward that Vex is perfectly aware of, not really doing anything. And I think it would really behoove Kane to run an Oracle Lens right now, so that he could be more aware of these wards. Because so far that's, I believe, the second time he's been sitting in a brush with a ward in it, and the enemy team being perfectly aware. And now in a rare event, we have Ziggs being pushed under tower, interestingly. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Kane finding himself in a precarious situation with that Xin Zhao chasing. Now he is going to come back now that Malphite is with him. They are going to maybe try and engage here with that Malphite. Here we go. Could be a big fight. Malphite kills the Xin Zhao there, or R's him, rather. Xin Zhao's R pushing away Nico. Now her art isn't able to connect with anybody, and they're going to get out for free there. So overall, great use of his ultimate on Xin Zhao's part there to get away from that Nico. Because if that Nico R hit, that would have been a death sentence for sure. And that is the last thing you want us to be hit by, that Nico R. Because that hurts. Especially when you don't have any MR. Okay. We see Ziggs still farming down here. Caitlyn does have the opportunity to reset as these minions continue to push into Ziggs. And now the Mountain Dragon is up, with Kane likely going to try to take that, although Xin is monitoring it closely. He is going to try and get in there too, I feel like. Both of them just kind of waiting to see what the other one's going to do. But now we see both teams converging onto the drag pit. Ziggs trying to get something done. Throws a few bombs over in the direction of Xin Zhao. There's a satchel charge as well. And Ziggs is doing a great job zoning off all these characters. Malphite coming in unexpectedly from behind onto the Leona, forcing her to flash out. Meanwhile, they're just taking this dragon right now, Paradise Valley is, for free. And that is another dragon for Mesa. So overall, doing a pretty good job with map control here. And Ziggs, that ultimate probably would have killed Xin Zhao, actually, if he was caught in the center there. But no, just missing. And they are going to be able to all just sort of back off now and start farming. Malphite almost got caught out there. That would have been dangerous. But he does manage to get away. That Q giving him a really nice speed buff. Now we see Nautilus just hanging out in a brush. Seems to have missed his Kane there. I feel like if he went in there a little earlier, Kane probably would have been able to. They would have been able to get a CC chain off on her and be able to maybe die or be forced to. Oh no, I guess she would die because she doesn't have any of her summoners. Just a small misplay, but nothing inconsequential. Nautilus being a little overzealous there with his positioning, but thankfully Ziggs is able to cover him with a ton of damage. Turret plating now down. There are no more opportunities to get the plating. Leona somehow misses the E onto that Kane, as Caitlyn narrowly avoids death from that Ziggs. That satchel charge actually kind of aided her escape a little bit, sent her flying a little further back. And the satchel charge, I believe, should be used more of a defensive tool, rather than an offensive tool. Or like that, actually. That's to just prevent the escape of an enemy. But I feel like normally using it offensively, there are better opportunities to use it. So Ziggs is going to use his ultimate to clear the wave there, which is pretty interesting. And now Leona is going to ult in, try and kill, or to try and get something happen. Make something happen here. She does exhaust the Ziggs. She's going to get the Nautilus as well, probably. Can Xin Zhao get it? Yes, he can. So that is a double kill for Xin Zhao. Nautilus is going to get the kill on Leona. But again, inconsequential support kill. Doesn't really matter. But Xin Zhao following up very nicely on that ultimate by Leona and that follow-up chain CC. Might be able to get Kayn here as well. Caitlyn is charging up an ultimate, is going to kill him. So great job, great teamwork from the Xin Zhao and the Caitlyn coordinating onto that kill, onto that Kayn. So now Caitlyn now has a second kill, giving her a solid edge over the Ziggs here. So great little comeback from the Xin Zhao there. Give his team kind of even out the playing field a little bit with the gold. Overall, this game does feel like it is going a bit slower. You can tell both of these teams are showing each other quite a bit of respect at the moment. They don't really want to get caught out by the other. And we're starting to see pretty much everybody is getting their mythics now. I think we're still waiting on the Gnar, the Vex, and the Nico, and the Leona, I guess. So about half of the players in the game still don't have their mythics, but the ones that do are a bit terrifying. And we are seeing Kayn with the Gore Drinker, so he might go for that purple Kayn build I was talking about earlier with the Shadow Assassin. His team comp would definitely benefit from it. They could really really benefit from that burst damage that the Shadow Assassin Kayn offers you with his passive. Paradise Valley is doing a good job keeping wards around the map right now. Leona has placed some very deep wards in the jungle. They are now aware of Kayn's movements. They may have seen him walking upwards, so maybe hopefully they have communicated to Gnar that he could be visiting them soon. But meanwhile, we're just seeing a lot of farming right now. Next dragon will be up soon, I think in a couple minutes, if not even sooner. But it looks like it's going to be a fight for the Rift Herald now, possibly. We are seeing some players group up around there. The Malphite, Nautilus, and the Kayn. That isn't a whole lot of damage, especially because Malphite is building tank. But that is still definitely not a group of champions you want to get mixed in with. All right, looks like Kayn sees an opening. He's going to go ahead and start the Rift Herald. They do not have vision. Meanwhile, Drake is starting on the other side of the map, so I believe that PV is going to use this as an opportunity to take this dragon for free, especially now that they've just taken the turret as well. So that's even more map dominance for them on the bot side. So this Rift Herald is probably going to be dropped soon. We are going to see, hopefully, this could be dangerous. Nope. Okay, looks like Nico. I thought she was going to go in for a steal on that dragon, but nope, they go ahead and slay the dragon. Paradise Valley does. So that is going to be a drag in their favor. The Malphite are going to come in on the Caitlyn, forcing her to get out. She is healing there, so that's great for her. Meanwhile, Vex and Leona are all over the Ziggs. Gnar jumps in, takes him down as well. And now Kayn fending off 3 players right now. He's going to go down as well. And Nico, they are not necessarily hitting anything, unfortunately. But right now, this is a much closer game at this point than we've seen the other 2 games. A lot of trades. And both of these teams, they just seem so anxious. They really don't want to mess up. They're playing so carefully. And honestly, they're playing pretty well. You know, they're staying grouped up. They're following up on each other's abilities and stuff. And it's honestly been it's a slow game, but they're just playing much more calculated than they have been in the previous games. This mid tower is going to fall. That is going to be pretty big for Mesa here. That's going to give them a bit more map control. As their tower, I believe, their tower is just over half health now, so is going to take a pretty decent push to get that one taken care of. But so taking care of that tower, that mid tower, is probably one of the better things that Mesa could do in the situation. Still seeing a bunch of farming right now. Ziggs is by himself at the moment. Oh no, Kayn's with him. Probably going to do his best to try and take down this tower. Yeah, looks like they're going to do that. Kayn is going to drop the Rift Herald right next to the bot tower. So they are going to go ahead and try to take that, give them a bit more freedom to just push around. Now they've got the Rift Herald pushing towards the second bot tower. Caitlyn is going to rotate along with Vex to try to put a stop to that. We are seeing Shelly walk up, and Shelly will get a nice hit onto that second bot tower. So unfortunately, they were not able to put a stop to her in time. But I believe that is great for Ziggs. That does give him a little bit of breathing room in the bot lane. He doesn't have to worry too much about those minions pushing up. And we are just still seeing these teams playing a bit of footsie right now with each other, these players. Ziggs trying to take some trades here with Caitlyn, and if he can keep his distance and hit his Qs, that will end well for him. Caitlyn definitely doesn't seem interested in that. She is more concerned with this fight going on mid. Ziggs still a bit concerned with farming. Looks like he is going to reset as well. Looks like both of these teams are just now getting their bearings for this next team fight that is evidently coming up. We're starting to see Paradise Valley make their way down the mid lane. It seems they really want to get this mid turret to regain some sort of map control. But they cannot really do that at the moment. But Gnar is on Malphite right now. Gnar's finally got his Divine Sunderer. That is a huge power spike for him. He's just walking at this Malphite effortlessly. Vex hits the R on him, dashes in, takes down the Malphite, gets his shutdown as well. That is great for Vex. That is her first kill right now. That was a good shutdown. She already has her Mythic, but that's some nice gold. So, really like how they're playing their cards right now. You know what? They're saying, you know what? We don't need the mid lane right now. We're just going to go ahead and take your side turrets. We got the bot turret pushing. We got the bot turret. We got the top turret now. I think we're going to be fine. And this is great. That actually is going to buy them a little bit of time as their friends are going to... I'm sorry, as Mesa is going to probably have to focus on those waves pushing in. That may give Paradise Valley some more time to focus on pushing this mid lane in. Meanwhile, we see another drag spawning soon here. About 40 seconds for the Ocean Drake to come out. Starting to see Paradise Valley creep in here. Make sure they've got vision control. Leona, they really don't want to give up that ward. Malphite ults in. Has left himself completely isolated now. He's all by himself. They're just completely running at him. Nautilus has to jump in to save him. And Nico gets that great kill onto the Xin Zhao as well. Gnar gets taken down as well here. So, unfortunate positioning from the side of Paradise Valley. That Malphite ult was very risky, but they did manage to play around that really well and give him some peel. And for some reason, Paradise Valley didn't collapse on it. That's going to be Drake number 2, or Drake number 3, excuse me, for Mesa. And it's still so close. I mean, this gold difference is basically negligible, honestly. And really the only lead that I'd say that they have right now is the dragons. The dragons buffs. But again, we're taking it slow here. Neither of these teams are in a hurry. Let's see. Has Kane gotten a form yet? I'm actually... Yeah, it looks like he... Oh, yeah, he has, yeah. So we have Demon Kane, looks like. So he is just going to go full Rost Kane. But he is building a lethality item, so I guess he is going purple Kane. Just with the red form instead. Because he does want to have some more CC first, even though honestly they have plenty. I feel like Shadow Assassin Kane would have been great here. Just because it would give their team so much more damage. Here we are back to the mid lane playing a little bit of footsie. Gnar is getting very close to his mega form here, so hopefully they'll be able to play around that, because that's going to be incredibly threatening in a team fight. Though he does decide to rotate back to the top lane, he does want to see if he can save this tower from Malphite. Nope, it does get taken down. Malphite is going to enjoy that tower gold. And now Gnar has his mega form just kind of walking around. And really, this is why you want to make sure you're ready for the team fights with with Gnar. Because when you get his mega form, you're kind of on a time bomb. And there's not really a whole lot Gnar can do in team fights when he doesn't have his mega Narf. Well, it looks like Caitlyn got quickly taken out there by the Kayn and the Ziggs. So they're just taking what they can get, honestly. Ziggs is just playing it slow, getting his farm. I guess they did manage to catch Caitlyn out in that unfortunate position. We're really just seeing both of these teams just kind of hang out, letting their carries get the goal they need. Nico going to try to get a root onto the Leona. That would be some great chip damage. Fortunately, doesn't manage to hit her. We're starting to see Paradise Valley group up mid here. Looks like they're going to get a push going here, hopefully. Nico gets a great root onto the Gnar, takes out a good chunk of his health with that empowered root in the Q, and electrocute as well. Leo going to do some scoping out, looking for some wards here as well. And Paradise Valley, I mean, honestly, even though they won last game, I feel like a big problem they've been having is just their lack of confidence in starting these fights. You know, I feel like there's so many situations where they can just so easily take a fight and gain an advantage, but they just don't. Because they're just nervous about something, or they just don't want to lose their bounty or anything. And it's not like any of them have bounties, but I mean, you know, they really just don't want to lose these fights. Leona comes in, tries to get something started here. Nautilus is getting hard CC'd for a while, but he is so tanky. He's just not taking any damage. So he's going to back up. Meanwhile, Ziggs decides to retort, give some poke on him. Gnar gets ganged up on by the Malphite and the Kayn. He gets taken down. Poor kiddo. So Gnar, unfortunately, doesn't do that great into Malphite when there's a Shadow Assassin Kayn just running at you. We're just seeing Paradise Valley reset a little bit here. Want to go ahead and spend some of their gold. The next Ocean Drake is spawning soon. This is going to be Cloud Soul for Mesa, so they really want to get this one. And it looks like they are primed to do so at the moment. I mean, Malphite doesn't necessarily have his R yet, but Kayn's got his. Nico has her R, which is going to be incredible in a team fight for the Dragon. In just such a tight, enclosed area. I mean, Nico's ultimate is going to cover the entire drag pit and then like a decent amount of it outside if she uses it there. But they've gone ahead. Paradise Valley has gone ahead and set up a nice amount of traps for Mesa to walk into, and they are in a great position to just go ahead and start taking this. They really just need to drag it out. I'm kind of hoping they do that here. Okay, here we go. See, they're starting to aggro the dragon. Now they are starting to come in. They are walking away from the Nico. They thought it was the Malphite. They thought the Malphite was going to come in and R, but nope, it was Nico. Malphite does have his R now, so he's going to try to make something happen here. Here he goes, 3-man knockup. Now Nico's going to use her R. It's going to be a massive stun. 3-man stun. Now 3 men are going to go down. Meanwhile, Caitlyn and Jinzhou also got rooted by the Nico. Oh my goodness. Nico and Malphite just completely carrying that team fight with their ultimates. That was insane. Just so clean, well played from Nico as well, fooling them into thinking Malphite was coming in with his R. And they all spread out, and now they're up. And then once they all spread out, they weren't grouped up or anything. Malphite still ran in, and he used his R. And then Nico came in immediately after, hard CC'd 3 of them, got them down to like 10% health, and Malphite finished them off, and Nico managed to kill the other 2. That was such amazing cohesion. What an incredible play from Mesa. You really love to see it. That was amazing. So they're going to run away with that soul. I think that may have been the deciding factor. Now, we are seeing Mesa with a 7,000 gold lead, almost 7,000 gold lead right now. And that is going to be huge for them at this point in the game. So I think that may have been the final nail in the coffin for Paradise Valley. Unless they can get these shutdowns and make something crazy happen. But I think right now, honestly, Mesa is in a position where they can just kind of run in and just start picking fights randomly. You know, they've got the Malphite ult, they have the Nautilus, they have ult, they have the Nico ult. They just have so many fantastic ults for engaging in these fights that realistically, all they have to do is stay grouped up and use those ults to win a team fight. We're seeing Nico and Malphite staying together here, which I really like. Again, those two with their ults together is just such a threat, and there's really nothing you can do. You know, if you get caught in the Malphite ult and then immediately take a ton of damage from the Nico ult. So, looks like they're starting to realize, oh, well, if we air him, we can just win this. So, they're definitely going to stay grouped up here, just walking through all the Caitlyn traps as Ziggs pokes them down and just sort of drives them away with his long range. Really great cohesive team comp we actually are seeing here for Mesa. I really like this comp that they've got going on. They've got a good amount of damage, good amount of heal. It's just fantastic. Ziggs is, whoa, dangerously close there. Narrowly misses getting E'd by the Leona there. And we're still just seeing them play a little further back. Malphite comes in with the R, gets 3 men up. The Ziggs R comes in, takes out Leona and Caitlyn down to a very low amount of health. And we're just seeing these players from PVCC just kind of walk in one by one and die. And boom, there goes Jin's down. That should be GG here. If they could keep this push going. And just, interestingly enough, we don't see that. I totally think that could have been one. But nope, looks like they're going to go straight for the Baron. Try to get that Baron so that they can just sort of guarantee their win. They probably could have pushed this until the end, but I can see why they want Baron just as a safer option. They can definitely go for it. It's much, you know, much more beneficial to them. And there's really no chance of Paradise Valley getting this one as well, so. Definitely a solid choice. They probably still could have ended, but, or at least pushed till, you know, a while. But now they've got Baron, and they can now just safely just run it down mid while the other lanes are being dealt with by Paradise Valley. And now we're seeing Mesa, their lead has just been going up and up. You know, they're sitting at, actually no, they're still at about a 8,000 gold lead right now. But they really just need to group up and just go. They just need to stay grouped like they are right now. Actually, they're grouped up decently well here, and just run down mid and just take those towers. I mean, if you've got tanks, you need to take advantage of that fact. You know. Just let your damage dealers, let your carries do their damage, and just sit there and take tower shots. Ooh, Malphite had to R to get out of there. That's unfortunate. That means it's going to be missing for the team fight, but it looks like it's actually cooling down relatively quickly. It's only got a 50-second cooldown right now. And Leona's playing very aggressive right now. This isn't really what you want to be doing right now when you're at this stage in the game. Kayn walking in, gonna kill the Leona, but now he's stuck inside 3 players. The Xin Zhao gonna CC him a bit and shut him down. Kayn's gonna get the shutdown there, but now Gnar is stuck. He's getting CC'd a ton. He can't move. Nico takes him down as well. Xin Zhao also took quite a bit of damage there. And we're just seeing these players starting to drop a little bit. And hopefully this will give these characters, that will give this team a bit of motivation, a nudge in the right direction, if you will, to get going here. Vex R's in, tries to make something happen, can't quite kill. Ziggs, though, doesn't necessarily have the damage right now. Meanwhile, the turret's getting taken down. Malphite just walking at Xin Zhao and Caitlyn here. Not a care in the world as Nico follows up, cleans that up. So it looks like, yeah, we are starting to see these players drop like flies. So this is going to be GG likely, as we are starting to just completely chunk these towers. And Leona can't really do anything but just sit there and take damage from the entire team. Here we go. This is that tower, and that is GG. Mesa Community College is going to win this preseason match. Good game, well played all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this preseason match. Hope you guys had a great day and enjoyed the game, and we will catch you guys next week.